And welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, here to the North American IEM Oakland 2017 qualifier. We do apologize for that bit of a delay there. We were waiting for the other quarterfinals to conclude, but now they're done, and it's time for the semifinals here. We're going to be continuing to follow OpTic as we move into their next matchup here now, which is going to be them taking on NRG. We're going to jump right into it here. Nuke is our first map.
Yeah, how often do you see Nuke as map number 1 against 2 N8?
Especially in an online set,
yeah,
too,
that
right?
means somebody had to pick it. What is going on, Blue?
Someone had to voluntarily choose this map. Yeah, it's a little bit strange to start things off, but hey, we don't get to see Nuke too often in online play, so let's give it a shot here and see how things work out.
Oh, and Anj makes it down. Kind of like the delayed vent drop. Looks like he was playing that one way above the HUD. Now he's going to keep them honest with the rotates, so it's like basically NRG knows that they have to go through ramp, right?
Yeah, so with that really good position is going to be in a great room to impact, and then we just have this massive train of the other 4 players from NRG that are going to be pushing themselves across the map. Fugly does stay behind, watches out for the secret push, is going to catch that, and a great Molotov too, just completely extinguishes any chance for Alu to push back into the site there, buys the time they need for the plant. You know, like cheeky headshots are going to come out or anything like that from Alu here. Now if he goes in, he has to go for the full 1v5, which is going to be very tough to do, and Breeze will just knock him right out. Full 5-man alive round from NRG to start off here on the pistol. Nicely done.
Yeah, Breeze and Fugly chiming in with 3 and 2. Obviously that's kind of the headline, but I think minor headline was Anj getting in the vent and staying alive. That changes around massively. All right, if they can rotate down vents freely, I mean that's a way different round. And this is actually really weird. OpTic not force spying, so a lot of teams like Nuke is one of those maps where force spying on CT is probably one of the highest probability wins.
They're going to choose not to do it here. They still do have the pistols though, with just those eagles in hand. They might be able to do at least a little bit of work here. So we can see Friber just preemptively getting ready to go downstairs as they assume NRG will go for some kind of secret play. And that actually might not be the case. We've started to see this more and more as the meta on this map has continued to evolve. That a lot of these teams actually don't go down secret. They just use the outside area, kind of wrap around catwalk and take heavy control so they can kind of pinch onto the A site. A lot of teams have started doing that recently over the past couple of months. It has started to become more and more common amongst more and more teams.
Yeah, I think the reason they do that is because, you know, where else can you go on the map and take like long-range battles while still going towards a bomb site? There's no real answer to that. So what you do is you try and enclose on them all at the same time, so you hope to overwhelm. From
completely like fluster them and everything, and make them not know where to look or give them any real safe space to hide out at in the site too, because he's not necessarily a site that has a lot of places to hide, especially if you can get the heaven area pinch back in. We can see that now as the Alu does get a flank kill from the outside area. It will be traded out. Nice adjustment from Cirque too. HS tries a surprise after the vent player distracts, but it's not going to distract well enough. Cirque is still able to take him down, and now, well, Freiberg's going to have some fun in the vents. Yeah. There we go, the door is open. Cirque will get the kill. Up comes Freiberg, but it doesn't matter. Fugly's also able to assist as he gets that last kill and secures the second for NRG.
Yeah, and Fugly, I feel like Fugly doesn't get enough press for how well he plays on this roster. He's kind of like that quiet kind of just owner. He's kind of like a Crims, right? He doesn't go for the flashy plays. He's a site anchor type who's always going to get his 18 to 25 frags.
He's just that guy from NA. That's all we know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's his fault for not streaming, right?
Yeah. If he was a European, he'd be all just focus on him.
It's like, oh, super smart
he's just
player.
another NA player.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about him.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, like the NRG core is actually pretty strong now, and like with all these, I'm still like a bit hesitant to say that they're like a really good team, simply because the fall off for NRG on LAN has always been like pretty dramatic. So if we can see this team like perform like this on LAN, then okay, maybe I'm a little bit of a believer that this team might be able to go somewhere. But right now, the problem is with them is it has primarily been like online stuff that they've been progressing
So how could
through.
they get to land, Blue? By winning this qualifier, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
See it, baby.
They're going to have to win this round first, as this could get a little bit hairy here, losing A and J and Cirque.
Yeah, so this is why, like they had no investment and they're still losing 2 people outside. Stop doing this. We see this approach all the time. I mean, there's certain ways you can overload hut and squeaky door with nades and then go somewhere else without having to take these weird fights outside that are just so unpredictable. It's just not necessary. Right, and then some team at some point is going to come with a counter to that basic just swing outside approach and you're just going to lose.
So that gets us past the first 3 rounds here. NRG do control all of them, although they take a couple more losses on the second round there. We did see OpTic sneaking out quite a few USP kills, but the full investment now comes in from NRG regardless, and as it does for OpTic there too. Both teams bought out to the cusp, including the Op and Armor for Mixwell there on the CT side. So we might have a bit of an early duel here if he takes the peek against Cirque. Cirque is scoped in on that angle there on the right. You can see him kind of squirming around a little bit, trying to wait for a position or a peek from this warehouse.
I think his buddy's trying to bait the shot.
Yeah, they don't want to go too far.
So what's
though.
interesting here is if they had, so now they're going to boost late though. Oh, they're going to get on top of the little loft, maybe. See that little loft up to the left?
Yeah.
It's a really good pick spot. So you could actually see Mixwell's body without Mixwell seeing you from up there, which is why this is such a precarious position.
They're going to force him to move here due to the smoke too, and he goes hunting. He does check out those areas on top of
This is like
Twinkie.
mini split type smokes.
But should let them push forward.
Ooh, that's a hard spray to connect. Bree's gonna get that double kill. OpTic coming in. Alu's behind the silo and he's not gonna be able to make it work. I mean, once the defense starts to erode too quickly there, it's just hard. I mean, that bottom site position behind the silo is super strong, but people died too quickly.
Magisk sitting back there. He's going to be able to take down Sir Calver, so starts the comeback for OpTic. Unfortunately, he's up. Oh, actually, that's a big peak for Manj I wasn't expecting to see. But regardless, Magisk now is to push back in. Now with that damage being prime, though, combined with Breeze already being low, there was a good chance. Unfortunately, he checks the wrong spot on the way in. That lines up the opportunity for Breeze to just clutch it out right there. So 4-0 for NRG. Taking some heavy losses, but with the money they have and the fact that they're on T side, so the economy's a little bit more forgiving to begin with. No problem really buying into it, and now OpTic on to another eco.
So the cool thing about that strat right there is because it succeeded that time, it opens up a lot of opportunities later in the half, i.e. flashing through the garage smoke, right? Just a lot of things you could do that are like logical, kind of like pre-adaptation changes.
So we are going to see a big split of players from OpTic as they try to put someone everywhere, essentially, here. Just going for full map coverage, not necessarily easily traded positions. So while the players will probably end up dying, they'll look for at least one kill before they try to go down. And Magisk might end up at the front of this, but actually, it's the scout that'll do damage first off here. Alu able to take down ANJ, but it's after he also finds one. So there's that first one-and-done trade we see between these two teams.
Is that still Magisk lurking? They're going to check that. He always falls to here.
He
either falls here or he falls into in front of the top.
This is like a really common spot now anyway, so they should check this. They are getting flanked pretty quickly though, so that might distract them. Yeah, they do go for the check. They find the first player on their backside too, and Cirque with a quick shot prevents Freiberg from locking on with a headshot on the 5-7 there, leaving only Alu alive in a 1v4. And he'll try his best to sneak around through decon from the looks of things. However, I believe NRG would have someone watching out for that. Actually, it doesn't look like... No, Breeze is sitting right there. In fact, he might be the one to open the door for him. As Alu slowly walks up. He didn't hear the door open. Was trying to figure out if it was that door, because it sounded kind of far away, actually. But he gets that kill. Lines up a second one, too. If he goes up here, there's a third waiting for him. But it'll be the one with an op that'll take him out finally and end the round for NRG.
All right, second buy round. Here we go. So, yeah, I'm glad they didn't go for the op. That's a good thing. I would be surprised if we don't see somebody immediately committing to secret as a CT. Just based on the fact that NRG have always had outside presence to a certain degree.
And they're actually not going to look for it this time, at least not early on. Nobody...
Not the T's.
Yeah, not the T's anyway.
Oh, they're playing for the rush. I see.
Freiberg does catch AMJ early on here, and Magisk even better. He's going to be able to pick up two for himself over at ramp. Does stay around for a little bit too long, but Alu moving in there, nicely done. Just clothesline Daps, and he also did great damage to Breeze too. Breeze was able to kind of air strafe out of there, so he gets himself into a safe position. Gets the plant at least, and he plants kind of out in the open here behind the smoke, so no chance of him going down, but very low chance of him clutching this, obviously. And we will see finally a round for OpTic, and it's a clean one too, so they won't be immediately at danger of being reset.
Yeah, it's kind of weird decision making there, you know, committing to something so early given the fact that you have a huge economy lead, you have a huge round lead. This is kind of like, it's kind of like when you're winning heavily in poker, you can kind of bully the table, you know?
Yeah,
So the way you can play on T side is different once you get to this point, right? Like you should probably have somebody threatening the vent drop early round every single round at this point, maybe with a Mac 10, making them buy head armor, as we talked about. Anyway. You know, it's kind of hard to get in the mind of another IGL and see what they're trying to do. If you look at it from your lens, sometimes it can seem naive, but it actually isn't.
Energy should actually run out of cash pretty quickly here, so they're going to have to make this round impactful, as they were losing players in relatively dominant, relatively heavy fashion over the last couple of gun rounds here. OpTic has actually been doing a pretty good job of making sure that at the very least they find some damage impact to keep that money low on the T side. And I think they've done a pretty decent job of this. We won't know until the next round, really, of course, if Energy lose this one, but let's wait and see as Energy are getting ready to start their outside execute. There's really not a whole lot here in terms of a defensive setup from OpTic either. They did pretty much leave it open. Looks like you have a mix wall, but as you can see, he's sitting
the hard wrap.
Yeah, he's sitting way far back, assuming that they would just wrap around towards heaven again, which they're not going to do this time. It's a full 4-man secret rush, keeping one player in a different position, but the others are going to try to push forward here. The good news is, though, that Freiburg should have been able to hear most of this.
Now they know where he is, so they know he's not. Well, they know he's going to be on this sink side.
Those shots might have thrown it off a little bit, though, depending on how well they were able to read into that flashbang, because there was also the shots from the other side of the double stairwell here. So
this is going to be a hard one to win for NRG.
Yeah, that kind of,
especially because of Mixwell.
They put themselves into a little bit of a hole here, so we will see. They're not going to go upstairs to adjust, but they found a first entry, actually. They take down Freiburg right off the bat here, and they check HS's position, but Dap doesn't actually show up and get that kill there. He assumed he got it way too quickly. So HS strikes back. Aloe picks up an additional kill here, too, and ultimately we end up in a 1v2 with Fugly trying to clutch it. You can see he's completely blind. Apparently they left a bomb outside, too, which I didn't even realize that until just now. And for Fugly, well, he is not even going to have enough time to clutch this anyway, and he realizes it. He's forced downstairs into the bottom of the map, where it will go into OpTic's hands in the timer.
Yeah, so there's still this problem that I'm trying to solve in terms of creating strats, which is how do you pop flash CTs at even the most predictable angles down in secret? Like, I feel like that's the sticking point, is if you commit to going down there with too many people and there is somebody there who's playing it with their utility correctly, it's just so annoying to deal with. Like, that smoke is that smoke is just not going to go through it ever because there's no good flashes for it.
So Energy, like I said before, do end up pretty much broken here into this next round here. They still have the lead, but it's very quickly dwindling if they're not careful. And obviously on a round like this, it is going to be a little bit more difficult to make things happen due to just having the upgraded pistols. And now to start it off, HS, he's already going to be able to pick up the first kill. I believe that was the rifle that got dropped too, so it now goes over into Breeze's hands. He's going to see if maybe he can do a little bit of work within himself. Freiburg, though, already stopping a second player. Catches Cirque moving down secret and is able to eliminate him pretty quickly. The remaining stragglers from Energy spread all across the map. You've got one outside making some noise, one going to try to push into ramp. He does have an AK in hand, though, and that's Breeze once again showing up to the party. Swinging out, though, gives him a little bit more real estate with his smoke. However, he will miss his chance to get any additional kills. Now, that does open up an opportunity for Energy to swing downstairs through ramp and get at least a little bit of control there, maybe even a plant, too.
Yeah, plan on this round would be huge. Breeze is going to be looking for as many kills as possible. Obviously, hoping to get the plant, he's not going to get it there, but Daps just trading another one from Breeze. It's going to be a 1v2. If he had armor, I'd say this is doable, but HS is so close by, and that AK is going to shred him. Interesting he doesn't get to the peak there.
A nice flash goes out. He's going to have to watch here as he's pretty much completely cornered. So we'll have to very quickly adjust when these players move in. And without armor, it's just not going to be workable there. HS does take him down, and we'll see another one claimed for OpTic Gaming. It's closer this time, but still 3-5 becomes the scoreline.
And I was going to say that was an all-EU player 1v2 right there, but then I realized that more than 50% of the players in the game are not NA.
That's very true, yeah. Far more than that, actually. There's only...
Daps, Breeze, Fugly.
Fugly, that's it. Technically, I'm a pet too, but he's in a coach, so we don't count those. Well,
does Energy have a coach?
Sure. I don't think so right now. It used to be E-Lead, didn't it?
I thought E-Lead was Splice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he used to coach Energy,
really?
and now he coaches Splice. I'm pretty sure. Quick secret push from Energy again, as they're going to be able to move down there, getting that fast control, but just as quick, Freiburg smokes it off, so they're going to have to take a risk in order to make any more progress here.
Yeah, what do you do? What do you do about this position? How do you flash Freiburg? How do you overwhelm him and make sure he goes 1-for-1 trade? What is the strat? Show me NRG.
Well, as they push forward, strat ultimately is going to be to ignore him. I think he's down that side hall. When they spot him, though, Cirque gets the very quick kill into Freiburg to take him out of the mix. Now he's going to find the second one, too, as Breeze comes in, actually, to pick up that kill. Not for sure it was Cirque, but I'll spray back. You see players from OpTic trying to get downstairs very quickly. Pretty much all of them are trapped upstairs, though. That's the big issue here, is they don't have a very quick path to rotate everybody down here. You can see HS trying to go through vents. He's going to find the nice uneven duel versus Breeze, though. Easy shot for him to find, to be able to take him down and finally put some kills on the board for OpTic. Still plenty more to go, however, and from the looks of things, it does not really appear as though OpTic is really going to be looking for this retake. Alu already backing away to CT spawn. Maxwell still hanging out upstairs in T lobby. HS the other one that can really do any damage here, but he's going to be backing away too in a second, giving the round over to NRG and making sure that they can sustain their lead for at least a little bit longer here.
Yeah, I feel like this save by OpTic is a very mature move, right? Like, a lot of the times you'll see kind of like the lower tier teams kind of commit to retakes where it's just probably not
You really
worth.
don't have a chance, yeah.
And that depends specifically on the round situation, right? Like, sometimes you might do it really, really early because if you lose the round, it could be just absolutely crushing, which it would have been, right? Like, look at their money right here. They would have to force. And if they did force and lose, then that's 9 rounds on the board for NRG. So that was really good decision making there for OpTic. Let's see if NRG goes with a default approach again. If you see them breaking glass, then they probably are.
Yeah. So right into it here, and OpTic going up with a full buy at the end of the day here. So pretty decent buy-up considering they saved those 3 guns. NRG side, they're going to want to try to break that CT economy as quickly as possible if they can do it at all. Remember, they went on the last round mainly by the grace of OpTic calling for a save, and Mixwell is going to have taken a lot of damage early on due to the spray that's coming out against him. Ends up going down to 40 HP, and his teammates over here on NRG are going to be the ones that'll move in, taking down HS to start things off. As they get a nice, clean entry onto A, and for whatever reason, OpTic just didn't really have anyone in this actual site. It was pretty much just HS. There's a few on the outskirts that are now trying to rotate back in. Like you see Freiberg, who actually somehow gets inside a shed without being spotted there. He's still going to have to deal with Cirque wrapping back up the T lobby, and yeah, he misses that hint there. Only this, but Breeze and Daps picking up those 2 more kills does pretty much kill any odds of a retake from OpTic. But for a moment there, they were being given a lot of control, and that was somewhat dangerous. Thankfully, NRG does corral it back under their control, and are going to be able to win this round again.
Yeah, well put, corralling it back. So that's a really good audible by NRG right there. So they threw the smokes to get down to secret, and then they noticed that Mixwell was trying to make a smoke play there, and then there's like, yo, let's just go mini. They probably over-rotated. They probably heard Freiberg drop vent because there was a guy who blew open Squeaky. So everybody's kind of giving that info to Daps, you know, I'm assuming, and he's like, go inner, go mini, right?
Yeah.
Cancel, go to audible 2 or whatever. So you can tell that they've gone over this map, at least to some degree. So good on ya.
Finally, a map where we're really seeing Breeze show up too, as he's been for me personally, he's been a little bit more quiet, like pro league play. Apparently, somebody messaged me the other day, and he apparently has like some of the highest stats in the league right now, which was a little surprising to me. But yeah, he's been doing pretty good in online matches as we come to expect from Breeze, and it's no different here. He's currently leading the frag total for his team.
His consistency is well noted by the community, I think, at this point.
Yeah, especially against like mid or lower tier teams in NA, he just like rips through them with no problem at all.
Like a Breeze.
Just just goes in and gets like 5 entry kills, you know? Like that sort of thing. On the hold here, OpTic obviously don't have a whole lot in the way of gunpowder, although they're doing a little bit of damage at least. Alu, they're getting a nice headshot up on a Breeze. Nothing else besides that at this point. Just until Mixwell shows up to the party and vets. They don't suspect that to go roll in. In fact, he does great damage to a second player too before finally going down. Magisk and HS though just don't really have the capability to push back in. Magisk doesn't have anything to save, so you can expect him to line up for an exit, and it would seem HS is going to do the same thing.
So one of the things on this map that you can kind of see is communication, right? So NRG have been a team a little bit longer than OpTic, and Nuke is so heavy on communication that like it could literally make and break the smallest detail, right? So off the top of your head, if you haven't gone over it already, how would you distinguish between that little railing that kind of encircles the lower site versus the rafters on the upper site? Just with like, you know, like a quick like 2-second piece of communication, right? Like it's a hard thing to do.
Lower cat, upper cat.
Right, like but it's like unless you've talked about that beforehand. And then when there's gunfire and you're saying the word lower and upper, that's usually not a good way of going.
Yeah, especially in these sites too, where they're very vertical. something that often doesn't get discussed that much about like how like the verticality of certain sites is like way different. Like some sites are pretty like flat for the most part, and just you have a lot of like spots you can hide and stuff you need to check. Other sites a lot more open, like you have on Nuke, but they're just way more like vertical. Like there's a lot of areas you can hide up top. It's not really like covered, but if you're trying to push it from below, then you're obviously not going to be able to shoot at it just due to the way that physics works.
Yeah. So what's another one? Is maybe like overpass B, cache B.
Yeah, overpass B is a good one.
Nothing like this though.
No, this map is easily the most like has the most verticality to it.
And look, they're hitting them with the hard default, right? They know their money is terrible. Look at, and then look at the CT money. And who has the op? So it's number 5. So Mixwell, he's out on the AC. So we call this like AC, like a big AC unit or something. On just setting up that smoke that lands mini. I wonder if this is going to be the basic inner exec, or if they're going to do something with a little wrinkle off of this.
Moment looking like just the basic exec. They move in. Freiberg's actually covered partially by the smoke that they threw, so it does let him sneak off 1 kill. It's the only kill.
This should be the hot save immediately.
Yeah, we could see Magisk wanted to go up there with the ump and maybe get into a bit of a fight, but got called off before he even went to the top of the ladder. So that's everyone from OpTic. Peeling away from this now. Alu, let's see what Alu's going to try. He's finding around vents a little bit there. He might just be trying to punish anyone that peeks him, but yeah, looks like he'll back away and just go out through secret. So OpTic choosing to save once again instead of attempt the 3v4 retake. And that'll let NRG continue to soar forward here up to 9 rounds now.
Yeah, I would expect a pause coming in soon. Wow, these are actually big because they're going to be able to pick up AKs.
They're not going to be able to actually move in for the free take still. You can see players trying to go back up, and players like Ann being a little bit more careful. That's exactly what he needs to be too. In fact, he might need to get a little bit further away from the bomb now because of that damage, and that's where Al is going to move in and strike. Tries to keep him in the sight for a little bit longer, but Taps goes in for revenge. He gets it, but he also dies too. So every single player in the server goes down in this round.
Yeah, that's fine for NRG. I mean, look at that. 3 of their guys have over 10K. They're chilling.
No problem at all here. So the drops don't mean much, and we do see a pause call. I'm going to assume this one's from OpTic at this point.
Yeah, so this was expected. I'm a pet. It's probably, you know, calculating what to do.
He's furious right now.
I don't know if he's furious. He's probably calculated. Right?
Do you imagine? Like, how would you imagine I'm a pet like as a mad person? Like,
I don't know.
Would you be able to envision that?
I've never met him, so I don't know.
Be
Most
interested.
of the time, people that are analytical don't get mad very easily, but when they do, it's hard to get them out of it. So that's what I would imagine.
That's a good way to think of it, like that. Well, once again, we're gonna
like for instance, like your science teacher will be like disappointed in you, right? Like it'll be like that disappointment where they're like, "You're throwing away your life."
They don't get mad. They just they just make you feel bad.
Yeah.
That's that cuts even deeper.
They make you mad at yourself.
Yeah. In a way that's more effective for some people. All right, so it looks like OpTic are going to force here. It's obviously not that great, as we can see. 3 umps, a scout, HS. Yeah, he's also going to have to go down to an ump. So pretty much a full ump buy, except for Alu, obviously. And they do get pretty decent utilities in behind that, so they should have utility. But the problem is their utility hasn't really been that great in this half. Like, hasn't been like an amazing smoke or anything like that from OpTic that's like saved them in a round. So I'm not exactly sure if this is going to be enough here, but we'll see. Because if most of the fighting ends up happening on a site again, these umps can still do pretty good work because most of the sites are pretty close knit.
So this is those. Remember that mini split that we saw earlier in the half?
Yeah.
So let's see if they do something different off it this time. Because I would suggest they do. Going in through mini against a low buy is not the best option.
Yeah, we can see already some of these players looking for close-up fights. Mixwell would be... Oh, all right, not even Mixwell. It's Alu with the scout at long range that actually shows up first. But Mixwell could still find some impact over here with his ump. Obviously, he's waiting at secret. NRG might try to dodge away towards there.
So you know it's a nasty option right there
for
Breeze? Is somebody that's top hut can like throw a flash jump throw through one of the skylight windows and blind somebody right there at the red box. Like you could do it from inner pretty effectively.
Not going to see it happen right now. I don't think they have enough intel to go for something like that, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, Alu dies. So who?
Daps
killed him. You got to stay alive there, man. Especially when you have a scout, you got to reposition and tag as many as you can.
So this brings NRG's take back to life. However, Magisk sneaks out over here from the Helllockers. Moves in, finds one, and Jay's going to try to creep up on the Heaven player here. It does work, takes him a kill there. However, this is where the umps can really show up with a lot of powers inside of these sites. And we're seeing that immediately as it's left down to Futley. Tries to force his way into a battle versus Mixwell, but it won't happen. And OpTic finally come out on top of another round here. They earn their 4th.
Yeah, see how they didn't really know how to approach the anti-eco?
Yeah.
Right, like, just going outside. We're just going to go outside and hope things happen.
Try to play a normal gun round, essentially.
Right?
Yeah.
It seems like there's that next level that needs to be addressed. I'm not saying I know how to do it, and I'm not saying I'll tell you how to do it.
So most of NRG, it looks like they're going to end up swinging inside again, just the usual split on the T side here. Daps might go for a little bit of crazy outside control. Zerk tries to take an op shot early on. It's not going to work too well. And Daps apparently got hit by something too, whether it was probably a nade, I'm going to say, at this point, since we didn't get to see the actual action out there. But he's down at 62 HP. And most of NRG has actually been denied of all mid control since we have, Alu very aggressively pushed forward. They have another player, I think he's inside of the... pretty sure he's in warehouse, sitting right behind this other player. No, actually, he's inside of the secret room there. So Mixwell's hiding out with him there, just to make sure that NRG cannot make this progress that they've kind of been allowed to make for most of this half so far, and funneling them into something like an inner or a ramp push.
So right now, I mean, look how far Alu and Mixwell are from the action.
Yeah, that's the only negative to doing that setup that they had up there, is it does deny of the outside pressure, but it leaves these other areas of the map relatively weak. You can see that now as they move in. Freiberg getting one. He does have to dive off the molly after that, and that's where he's going to get traded by Breeze. HS trying to sneak from behind these tankers here, and unfortunately will lose his life as he fires out just a tad too soon. Luckily will get that kill. In comes Magisk, though, as he's going to be able to trade at least one. Drops the bomb in the process, so stops the plan. But Cirque with a quick peek inside of Mini catches the trade. Alu right back into the action for OpTic, however, as he takes down ANJ, restoring this down to a 2v2. And he's going to move in and try and deny the plant. Succeeds in doing so. Breeze is there for the trade, but way too slow to react. And oh my goodness, it's almost a hit shot right there on the Glock. Not sure if he knows his opponent's sitting there, but in trying to pick up this other 8K. Mixwell's definitely going to be alarmed to his presence. The smoke comes out. Breeze won't matter too much as he tries to push out into the open. Mixwell's now ready to take that fight and ready to win it, too, as he comes out on top and picks up a number 5 for OpTic.
That was tense. That was a really tense round. I don't know if you stick the plant right there. I feel like that's a bait situation. I don't know what was going on there because it seemed like Breeze was out of bullets when he tried to plant. Or did that bring Breeze to 0 bullets by killing Alu, who killed the planter? I don't know. Regardless, tough situation, very chaotic. We're going to go into the final round.
And what could have been a 12-3 half is now slowly diminished for NRG down to worst a 9-6 if OpTic should win this round. And that's still 10-5 is still going to be pretty good for them if they can win it. The problem that they've been suffering from, however, continues to show even in this last round. That's going to be secret control, getting it beyond secret anyway, and into the halls. Getting the actual secret has not been too hard for them. But getting into these halls and getting good control down here on B has been a pretty big issue for NRG. It's going to continue to show in this final round. Cirque almost getting burned out by a Molotov. Now they're trapped in here. Mixwell should know this, as would Freiberg, so they're both going to be ready to take this fight. And ultimately, it is up to NRG to try and push forward, push out into the open, start to get some fighting done. Be able to spot this, but unfortunately, both of them already being hit. It does make them easy targets for both Cirque and ANJ, so they trade it out, bring things down into another even battle of 3v3. And we'll have to begin to look to get actual site control. But look at this. Look at how quickly they get into position. And Magisk, nicely done. The one tap on a Cirque and then the follow-up on a Breeze takes him down. Right afterwards, we see Magisk finish it up as well with a third and final kill. As OpTic, well, I'm close to tying it up, but obviously we're going to have to wait till the second half to see if they can complete that.
I mean, that takes some balls from Magisk there to go into the control room window 3 seconds after his 2 teammates dies and walk push that. How do you make that decision? Like, you can... That's insane.
You gotta be a jokester.
Yeah, he's
Trickster, sorry.
Trickster, Hunden. Word association. Earmuffs. What did I just put in your brain?
I don't know.
That? Yeah,
Something's going on here.
Brain. All right, so it's 9-6. I can't remember the last time an NAIGL led any team, I don't care where the teammates are from, to any kind of victory over EU players on Nuke. So that's what I'm focusing on. An NAIGL being able to handle Nuke.
Yeah.
Good on you.
I guess Freiberg, of all people, too.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't NIP kind of always that storied Nuke team, right? Like
yeah,
that
no, that was on the old Nuke. They were like always really good on that map.
Probably just due to comms, right? Just experience, teamwork, and comms.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
It's them, the Danes, and to a certain degree the Australians, too.
Yeah.
Because they also love this map for some reason. Maybe it's this nice little river here.
Yeah, high-end
That
graphics,
apparently
aesthetically pleasing.
apparently like wrecks everyone's FPS whenever they play this map.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to play the map in a competitive standpoint if it didn't have the river, so I understand why they put it there. So
right.
I'll take the FPS hit.
Let's get back to Counter-Strike here as we are going into the second half. 6-9 now, with NRG still in control of the lead for now. But if this pistol goes awry, we could very quickly see OpTic taking the wheel and being able to push into an advantage position. Let's find out now as we do dive into the second half. Remember, guys, this is map number 1, by the way, of a best of 3. After this one, we go to Overpass, if memory serves me correctly, for our second map. And if we need it, our third map is going to be on Cache. And it's a very quick rush from OpTic out over here onto the site. ANJ has a CZ, but he does so little damage, actually. I'm very surprised he doesn't end up getting at least 1 kill out of that exchange. Fugly's going to be able to get into position, however, at the bottom of ramp, and he trades out that 1 kill, bringing it quickly down to a 4v4. Cirque does not realize that he's going to be walking right into an opponent who's waiting in that corner. Freiburg also picks up a kill. Breeze will trade back on a Magisk, and so will Daps, actually finding Freiburg. Breeze with another quick pickup, too, knocking out HS. All of a sudden, it went from OpTic having a massive man advantage to now it only being Mixwell, and he can only get the plant. He does get that plant, but the pistol still goes by the way of NRG.
There's Breeze for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Talking about him before the game, super consistent player, just buttery aim. I mean, everyone loves this guy. Solid player. I was actually scared Mixwell was going to clutch that. Mixwell's a monster.
Yeah, he was like way too out in the open though, so it was pretty easy for them to just peek the site, find a guy just standing right there. And
I also think that Nuke is one of those maps where on T side you can kind of make it work a little more with lower utility buys. So that way, like, having that buy is really good, because next on the third round, if they buy next round after this, which they probably will, they'll feel pretty well equipped.
The goal here should be to get a second plant. They're playing by the normal rules of things anyway, and we'll get at least 1 kill. They completely overwhelm the player outside, so goodbye to Cirque early on here. Breeze is going to be out here too, but oh, nicely done by Breeze there. Takes out Mixwell. Hello. There's those boxes there that I think he forgot about, so HS is going to be able to jump on top of those and just eliminate Breeze. Now just Fugly left alive, as he's going to be able to find HS back over there by ramp. That duel goes their way, and now it leaves Alu running alone here in a 1v3 situation. He should be able to try and swing down here, hopefully at least trade on a Fugly. Oh, now he's revealed that he's got the scout, though. So Fugly should be able to play a little bit smarter here against that and make sure he's not giving himself away. Alu realizes it and ends up swinging the knife away, as Fugly will move out to take him down, securing an 11-6 lead for NRG. But this, obviously, as we were saying before, is where OpTic is going to go for their buy. They'll have 5 AKs and somewhat decent utility for most of these players, too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still looking back on Breeze, just kind of like running off of the rafters, like not vigilant. I mean, look, they only have they have 2 M4s now. They could have, that was a huge monetary loss. Could have stayed alive there. Oh well, I'm just nitpicking. Stuff adds up though, man. Kind of going with the expected approach, going heavier outside on the first gun round here. Just taking that map control.
They're quickly going to go downstairs. Cirque tries to challenge it. Yeah, Alu. He's going to come out on top of that this time, though, and that's quickly we're going to see OpTic going in events, making sure they get control here. Clear out decon, all these crucial areas, not leaving any room for much in the way of like trickery here from NRG. So they would have to go for the full 4v5 retake here, and they're still working on getting their players in positions. You know, they have downgraded weapons here too. I think they're going to go for it, but we'll see. This is still going to be a very tough retake to make happen. Freiburg already taking down Fugly. You see Breeze trading on to 1. He does take down the vent player. I think he knows there's another one there. Hello! There we go. There's the nade gone downstairs. It's going to flush Alu back the other direction. And yeah, it does seem like they realize that they're out of time and really out of ideas here on how to clutch this. Daps will wait, try to getting at least 1 exit kill. Won't find it, however. Mixwell's going to take him down, so that leaves just Breeze and Ange alive, falling back outside of the T-spawn area. Over here towards like Heaven. They're trying to play a little bit aggressively so that they can hold their own and at the very least try to get another kill or 2 against OpTic, but the round will very much be OpTic as they take control of the first gun round.
Yeah, I was actually looking for NRG to get a little bit more aggressive on taking away weapons there. Because when you have like a decent lead like this, I mean, it's not a huge lead. It could evaporate before your eyes. But if they kept OpTic to 2 weapons there, then that's like a really good thing to do. That almost sets you up for a 2-rounder later. I'm excited to see the different approach, though. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. NRG will not decide to buy into this round this time, really, with the exception of just a couple CZs and other approaches for DAPS as they take it nice and light here. On this next round, they won't look for the immediate aggressive response after they do get beaten out by that third round early buy from OpTic. Well, try to put a player downstairs early on. As you can see, DAPS is playing into that site. Unfortunately, completely outmatched in that scenario. A CZ at long range versus an AK. Very simple that the AK would end up winning that one. So Magist comes out on top. Takes out DAPS. And now for the rest of the team here. This is just a waiting game to make sure NRG is trying to get aggressive. Now looking to hold his own, but he actually does end up going down to Ange. No gun really given away to these CTs just yet, however, since obviously Ange already has that AK and Cirque's not really nearby. But the plant now goes down on Inner. Another, -1 disadvantage for NRG. They tried to kind of retake this in the last round. It didn't really go so well, but I think this time they're just going to make the choice early on to call for the save. And we can already see players doing that as they start to fall back towards T-spawn.
Yeah, this is kind of a worrying pattern, actually, is how mechanical and... What is that word people always use? Clinical? Right, like how clinical OpTic are in their T-side approach. Yeah. The fact that they can get the bomb down with 4 live and have 3 CTs still left 2 rounds in a row is not a good look. So I'm hoping NRG maybe take a pause in the next few rounds and kind of nip this one in the first quarter reaches up to them. Right, so they still have a third of the match remaining. Right, so just don't let it get out of hand.
Well, let's see as
Take a buy here.
We're not going to see that pause from NRG just yet, but yeah, as you were mentioning, there's no reason why they shouldn't buy here. They're able to easily afford the full investment this round. And in they go. No op to be seen on that CT side, so OpTic get that advantage. As Aloe is now going to be working with an op to play with over here on the T side. And they're very quickly going to go for outside control again here. But Aloe, since they know it's a gun round, they will look for the counter-op presence. They're just not going to find it, as there is no op this time. In fact, there's very little outside presence at all here from NRG. I think it's really just Cirque sitting back behind the warehouse area or among those boxes, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you can do to make it so that Aloe can't hold that angle and basically guarantee that nobody's right side garage is just get in the habit of pre-flashing and either double or single nading the T boxes outside. It's like a really good thing to do.
See them quickly nading things out, especially towards Mini too, where they're now going to start to push in a little bit, looking for a small pinch. They move towards it. A little bit of confusion as the player ends up getting dinked, but Magist takes down Cirque, actually. He was the player that I thought
was secret.
Yeah. I thought he was hiding, like they didn't have a clue he was there. But apparently they take him down. However, look at this from NRG. 3 quick kills from them. Besides the loss of Cirque, it's a complete shutdown in NRG's favor. And Aloe just sits alone here now in a 1v4. Trades out for the AK. You can see players pushing him up top quickly. Gets the headshot against DAPS. Very well played by Aloe. On point today with those headshots. Still 3 more to go. He does have a decent amount of time. Time's not really an issue here. It's more about just locating where these guys are hidden.
Just got spotted.
Around here. Nicely done. It's another very snapshot headshots that he's getting there. But finally he'll get traded.
And he brings him down to 2 weapons. Alright, so even though NRG isn't reset here, the fact that he brings them down to anything less than 3 weapons is somewhat of a win in his mind. Right, because that's what you're always trying to do to the CTs, right? Break their economy.
Just look at Breeze. He ends up getting dropped an AK there, but still the team gets brought down to a pretty low amount of money overall. Forces a lot of those heavy rebuys. We will finally see an op come alive here for the CT side. But for OpTic, obviously they're still at full strength, full buy. And they could very easily make up for this lost round here.
I think it's interesting that Ange opts for the silenced M4 on this map. I can see what he's thinking. Oh man, that's rough. It's almost like such a big gap in that smoke that it lulls DAPS to sleep, right? I think that's what happened right there. Like, I bet you that OpTic... Oh no, Cirque!
He missed 2 in a row. Oh, come on! Oh, you're just feeding him. So Ange jumps in there thinking he could take him on. We do finally see 1 trade from Breeze, but that means like nothing at this point, as unfortunately OpTic already have pretty much full site control. Fugly's the only one that can save it. Fugly's not really in a safe position though. He really has to constantly change it up. That's going to leave him unawares as to the movements of OpTic themselves. So there we go. He gets 1, gets traded out immediately. Breeze now looking to clutch 1v3.
All right, show me your best electronic impression, buddy.
Gonna push up. First target is going to be the one over here towards Decon. Now he can't find the headshot, and Magis swings out to finish it up. He ends up with a 4K on the round. OpTic, 3 away from the tie.
The trickster in the vents, baiting people into jumping into his crosshair.
I still
Right?
can't believe he got away with those 3 kills.
Maybe, so it's like a next level, like he shoots at people's bodies months after months, so it baits them into making dumb plays to kill him. It's like the jebaited long con. That stuff makes a difference, and I'm telling you.
Oh.
People get emotional about this game, it's pretty hilarious.
I mean, Cirque's probably pretty bad at himself. Last round. Just 2 point-blank shots on the op.
Was it 2? I thought it was 1.
Yeah, no, I think he shot the second one. I think he shot it like right before Magis shot him. I don't know if I heard the sound properly, but I'm pretty sure he fired a second
Hard
time.
reset in the force. It's happening. Prophecy's coming true.
Ange was really like the topping on the cake though, because then Ange like jumps down like 3 seconds after his teammate dies, like I got this, and dead.
Yeah. Jumping down the vent to somebody that you know is there is very, very few times anything good.
Cirque took him a minute, but he does finally line up into a position to get that headshot. The Freiburg will be his victim. Mixwell, however, trades things out just seconds later, bringing us down to a 4v4. It's not really a huge victory for NRG, as they're still working with lackluster gunpowder here. They need to keep this man advantage and not get traded in order for these to really be big pushes in their favor in this round, as right now it is still very much favored for OpTic in the current state of things. However, if Breeze decides to push out from lobby a little bit more into the open, they can get some good intel to work off. In fact, he already has pretty good intel just being pushed here. They should have some idea that it's going to be another lower hit. Let's see if they can actually figure this out completely, though. As they start to move in, Fugly should hear all these footsteps. Nobody is actually going to go towards vents, so he remains safe. Call for teammates to come back down. The smoke is going to make things a little bit tricky. He's able to spam into it. Now you
One molly.
yeah, I was about to say, you got 3 players inside of vents. That's a little bit dangerous. Daps will go 1 for 1 up top, though. And Breeze, with the only real rifle in hand, is going to be able to impact in a very big way. Knocks out HS and Alu, leaving only Mixwell alive to clutch 1v3. Mixwell's going to get creative with this, though. He gets very close up to the smoke. He's going to see if he can dive into the halls, but the smoke, I think the smoke was a bit misaligned, and it kind of tricked him from the other side there. So Fugly is able to close out with that kill that he was waiting a long time to get, and NRG will hold on to their lead.
Yeah, good patient play there by NRG at the end. They could have rushed that, and it could have gotten ugly really fast if they had rushed that defuse.
Yeah. Pause is going to be called again from OpTic, so they're going to use their second half pause now. See if they can figure out exactly what's going wrong with this T side and how to adjust it, as their money's in a bit of a peculiar place too. We can see a few players already deciding to fully rebuy. They're definitely going to be forcing this now with 3 players blown into it. But after this, if we do see a shutdown round from NRG, that should completely break them. For both teams, really, it's a break round here.
Yeah, this is probably the most important round of the match so far. That's a meme, by the way. Right, like you could almost like you could keep saying that as important rounds.
It's
happen,
that,
right?
and they have to win this pistol. That's just become like something that's said.
Yeah. But it is like this is probably the.
The problem is it's true every time, right? Like it is like a meme that it's said so much, but it usually is correct. Like
in terms of like a turning point that is close enough to the edge of the match or the potential end, I think this is the first one that's like arousing enough excitement in my mind as like, all right, this is where you want to see the best from both teams.
Yes. Well, basically, if NRG win this one, OpTic have to save. NRG should get a free, quote-unquote, round up to 15, and then right there, obviously, is that point is where it's very, very tough for OpTic to turn the game around, as they would need to do 6 rounds straight. I don't think either team has been able to do that so far in this matchup yet.
Looks like they're going to go for somewhat of like a brute force attack here.
I haven't really seen a whole lot of that so far in this matchup. And they have a lot of players downstairs, too. I just realized because of the heavy interplay. Breeze is ready for the challenge, though, as he goes in, gets 3, looks away from the 4th. But they'll realize it now. The problem is, as we can see, HS is going to be lurking on the outside. He'll try to get himself into the site. He'll be spotted by Cirque, but HS is still going to end up coming out on top of it. And now with NRG in full control of the upper bomb site, HS completely blocked out. Nowhere to go. He can hunt players down. That's pretty much it. Fugly is going to finish him off. And NRG win it while only losing 1 player.
Breezy, breezy, breezy. Hitting that 30 bomb. Closest member on his team to 30 is halfway there with 15, and that is Fugly and Daps. So, yeah, nothing more needs to be said about his performance.
His back's hurting right now.
Yeah, and I don't know why he doesn't have head armor, because he knows they're going to have pistols here. And if he gets entered on the A site and they lose the round, then I'm gonna get really sad.
I don't think he wanted to spend the money. That's why he lost 10 armor. So it would have
Yeah,
been the
but
full.
they have
It would have been the full
pistols.
$1,000.
It's around 14.
He's a thrifty player. He's focuses on tries to save a buck wherever
I'll
he
let
can.
you have
know?
that one, Blue. You could have that one.
OpTic quickly pushed down through Secret. ANJ and Daps ready to take this fight. However, they got a nice cross spray lined up here. Mixwell does get past Daps. ANJ with that kill. This goes down to a 4v1, now 3v1. Oh, Freiburg jumping back in the vents to make it a 2v1. Taking down Breeze. But now he's low HP as well. Only about a quarter of his health remains. He still has to pull off a 1v2 here.
Yeah, I think Freiburg needs to meet his quota of 1v4 or 1v5 on the front page of Reddit every 24 hours, and I think he's at like hour 21 right now since he's had a clip. And he's
Not gonna happen
get
this
it,
time.
so maybe it'll come this round.
That's alright, the vlogs make up for that. So.
Yeah. Vlog about it.
Yeah. Tell us about your experience.
Yeah.
Alright, well that puts NRG up to 15 rounds. OpTic still down at 9. I wouldn't count them out just yet necessarily, but with a bye like this, it is going to be tough for them. So we'll see just if they can make it happen. Otherwise, NRG will be able to take control of this first map for the 16-9 scoreline. Let's find out. Starting it off, it looks like OpTic are getting a little bit more heavy on outside. Cirque, nice timing, is able to find Allo through the smoke, takes him down. They originally did have a hole in this little red wall smoke too, but they're going to be able to get past it. They take a little bit of molly damage on the way. Oh, Daps spamming into it, takes him a moment, but he gets the kill onto Freiburg. A second will go down before they even get that secret control. And I know there's at least one more down there too from that spam.
Yeah, it was cool positioning by Daps, getting up on the red. Yeah, let's get that bomb plant. We need money.
OpTic will get ready to swing out here. Or it's do or die at this point, so they're going to try to play this a bit more cautiously. However, in doing so, they also leave themselves open for spam like that. Swamp being brought down to 20 HP. HS presented with an opportunity, but it's a little too short, and he's not able to lock on in time there with the deagle. We're going to try and get that headshot. Magisk, close up, gets one. He dinks a second, too. Nicely done. If he got that second kill, would have been a real chance here for OpTic. In fact, there still might be. As HS moves in, these players lining up for him. He does actually kill Fugly. Unfortunately, he's not able to kill the one in the back as they both just barely stay alive. Breeze and Cirque with a combined HP of 10.
Am I the only one that just saw that? The Anj wide peeking the last guy, and he's the only guy with a lot of health?
Yeah.
Man.
Just taking a risk, you know?
That was so scary. Oh, jeez. That stuff, like, I see it coming. I'm like, oh, no. I can literally see a 1v3 right here in 3 seconds. Like, that could have been a quick 1v3.
Not going to happen this time.
Yep, not going to happen.
All right, well, that does close out our first map, ladies and gentlemen. Like we were saying before, we have Overpass and potentially Cash coming up. Be sure to stick with us, and we'll be back with more action as we continue to cover the semifinals now of the IEM Oakland North American qualifiers.